I don't remember when race began to matter. I just heard, how long have you been a black quarterback?
That's how Williams recalls the question he was asked on Media Day a few days before the game. In 1988, even 41 years after Jackie Robinson broke baseball's color line, a perception still lingered.
Nobody of the other race said that, hey, I think that this player is not as smart. But that was in the air.
I had been a black quarterback only when I left Grambling, because when I was at Grambling, I was just Grambling's quarterback.
Welcome in, Doug. Great to see you. Happy Friday. We're almost to Sunday, 2 days away. So what does this Super Bowl mean to you with Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes leading their teams?
First of all, thanks for having me. You know, we all know this is a very historical moment to have two black quarterbacks starting in the Super Bowl. Not because it's something that we didn't expect, but it's something that I think is long overdue. You know, for the guys who didn't have an opportunity before me to play this game, they were denied. I think we could have been here a long time ago, but the fact that we're here today, let's do it today. You know, I think that's important that these two guys are going to face each other, and for all American, all football fans to see.
Doug, you're so instrumental at the quarterback position, especially for young African-American kids growing up. Talk a little bit about how it feels to kind of be that spokesperson. I know I've spent a long time around you when I was part of the Washington football team for all those years, and you never missed an opportunity to spread that word and just pass some of that love on to the next generation.
Well, I think it's important that, the fact that I had the opportunity, somebody gave me a chance, and it happened. And I think, too, because what has transpired over the years where they wasn't giving young guys an opportunity to play this game, you got to let them know the most important thing was your ability and your mindset, whether or not you can do it. I'm glad to have, been texting with Jalen over the last couple of years, and Patrick, we had the Legacy Bowl last year. He came down and was our pregame coin toss. You get a chance to talk to them guys. You see where their mind at. And I think you realize the fact that they playing in this Super Bowl, that their mind is exactly where they should be. And you hope that the other young guys look at the same way. I look at Geno Smith, who hadn't been a starter in a long time.
Yeah.
Now, I think he got his mind straight. He's comeback player of the year, which says a lot, and he had a great year. But there's so many other guys can do this. Like this year, we had 11 starting quarterbacks that was black in this league. And I think that's a way of progress. We still got ways to go.
It's unfortunate, that we both sit here talking about history, but I think this is in the making because of a long time ago, the NFL been around over 100 and some years. And, blacks were not allowed to play in the National Football League. So, 35 years since I won the Super Bowl, now we're celebrating two black quarterbacks playing in the Super Bowl, which is something that was kind of is unusual, to be honest with you. It hadn't been seen before. So when something like this happens, you got to get excited about it. And it's so unfortunate everybody don't look at it that way. I've had I've seen a couple of things on social media that say, why you got to bring black into it, color into it? Well, you know what? It's easy for somebody to say why you got to bring color into it if you don't understand what we as black quarterbacks and blacks as a whole has been through. So, you only look at it from where you look at it, so it never had to come to you. But now, when that happened, you want to say why. But it is a big deal. It's a real big deal. When I won, it was a big deal. 25 years later, Russell Wilson won. It was a big deal. Now we got two black quarterbacks playing in the Super Bowl. That's a great big deal. Two young guys. That's the thing about it. Two young guys that got a lot of career left, a lot of upside, and both two different quarterbacks who basically made themselves and, you got to take your head off to both of them.
Do you think Jalen and Patrick understand the magnitude that they're going to make history?
You know what? I think the younger generation looks at it a little different than guys like myself and guys before me. They look at it, they got an opportunity. This is supposed to happen. And that's true. For them, they're supposed to happen. But for us, we look at it from a different perspective because we know how hard it was for guys like me, James Harris, to even get a chance to do it. Where those guys came out, they knew they was going to get a chance to play. It's just a matter of them getting to doing it. You know, what Patrick Mahomes has done in 5 years at Kansas City is almost unheard of. This is his third Super Bowl. You know, what, 5 or 6 championship games, 5 championship games at home. You know, he has created because he's that good. And you know, one of the knock on black quarterbacks was they're not smart enough to navigate the landscape to lead a football team to the Super Bowl. You know, hopefully, you know, I put a little end to it, but you got 2 guys now who can play. Jalen, for instance. You know, you hear a lot of people talking about how athletic he is. They don't want to say how smart he is. They say how athletic he is. Yeah, at Alabama, his first couple of years, they used him as more of a runner than he was the passer. So he went in and just formed himself to be a great pocket passer. He can sit in the pocket and pick you apart, but he can run. And it's nothing wrong with a quarterback who has the ability to escape the pocket, because what it does, it put more pressure on the defense. So people need to give him his credit, man, and say you got 2 of the best quarterbacks playing in the Super Bowl.
2 of the best quarterbacks, 2 MVP candidates, 2 faces of the league right now. How proud is Doug Williams to see what he's, you know, everything that's going on?
You know what? You know, less than a minute after that football game the other night, when Patrick found a way to pull it out, man, I'll be honest with you. You know, I had tears in my eyes. They wasn't running down, but I had tears of joy in my eye because I had an opportunity to witness this. Sit there and just look at it and just say to myself, man, we got 2 black quarterbacks playing in the Super Bowl. And, you know, it's kind of like some of the things that have happened in the past. You know, when President Obama became president, you know, when Tony Dungy and Lovie Smith coached in the Super Bowl, wow. I mean, things like that, you know, give me joy and give me chill and thinking we made some steps. And we have made a few steps, but there's a lot of steps we hadn't made.
It's going to be a memorable Super Bowl. And for you saying, you know, mentioning when President Obama was elected and comparing it to that, it seems like it's something that really, really, you know, hits home for you.
Well, you know, when you look at it, there's a lot of firsts when you talk about African American. You know, you go all the way to Wilma Rudolph, Jesse Owens, Jackie Robinson, you know, Michael Jordan. You got so many black people, women and men, that have done something first that don't get the recognition every now and then. You know, when something happens, you bring it up to 1 month, this month, Black History. But we talking about something that happened in America that should be all the time.